right, go ahead.
Peace, peace. What's going on, fam?
Peace.
And greetings to you all. It's your brother Naheem, BKA Lord Abba, AKA Mr. Just the Facts. What's going on? We got BTP Ali in the building. What's good, brother Ali?
Peace. What's going on? What's the deal?
You know, we
Shout out to Sister Dr. Ma'at too, man. She
yeah,
she she
definitely.
and I were communicating. She wants to, we gotta set something up because I really want her to come on. Really admire the sister. I enjoyed the time we had on her show, the conversation we had. So at some point, bro, we gotta figure out how to get her on.
Indeed. No, definitely. What matter of fact, we can do that one day this week. Get
Hmm.
our goods. I was actually thinking about that not too long before we had jumped on the phone earlier.
Hmm.
So we got to get our good sister, Dr. Ma'at, on the platform. I just been really busy lately. Shout out to everybody in the building so far: Vince Jefferson, Cool Farilla, Keenan Wright, Jaron 215, Brother Cato, BTP, Sister Riri is in the building. Brother Josh, what's good, Brother Josh?
Peace, family.
Oh, we got brother Grim Freedman in the building, aka the Urban Mystic. What's good, brother Grim?
Hey, peace. What's happening, Freedmen?
Oh man, just talking that United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen talk. But first let me tell everybody, hit that like button, family, share the video out. We just having a little brief conversation tonight. We ain't gonna be on here too long. We just want to talk about the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. That's who we are. That's what we represent. Some of the moves that we are planning over the next couple of weeks, etc. Without getting into too much detail, the website will be up soon. The Be the Power website will be up soon. We have a powerful 12-point program that we're adding to the site. We're just perfecting the language of it right now. We want to put a little video out to it. We have our reparations piece is going to be so fire. The reparations piece is fire for the Be the Power website. So, we're just fine tuning some things, and then we're going to put the website out there. We've been in contact with some of our Freedmen sisters about starting up the BTP sisters portion of our platform. We need some balance. We've been talking about this thing for a long time. It's just never manifested, but now I'm pushing it. I'm pushing everything right now because this thing is stepping up. Everything is kicking up another level after another notch, I should say, after the reparations rally. We are starting to get some recognition. Some people are noticing us. The Be the Power serves as a YouTube channel. I always say it. We don't be having 1,000 live viewers and all of that, but we have some key people that watch this program and love what they're getting insofar as political content and our unique breakdowns of politics. And things are happening. Things are happening. So, hey, bros, jump in, man. Let's build.
Yeah,
Let's build.
before, man, I want to shout out Sister Riri, man. And Ali, man, I know you got the specifics, man. Sister Riri doing some real good things, man, with that restaurant
That's
up
right.
there, man. And I'm way down south, man, and I don't really have no travel plans, man, but I be seeing them plates, bro. Oh my God, man. It make me want to jump on a plane and get up out there, man. That sister doing some good things out there with
Fact.
that restaurant, man. So
Oh yeah.
Ali, man, give some information on what Sister Riri doing out there, man, with the Lobster Queen, man.
Wow. So all right. So in Teaneck, New Jersey, we have a seafood takeout spot, Lobster Queen, right on Teaneck Road. Um, and right now we are updating the menu, right? That's what we're doing. We updating the menu. We added some things on there. We've been putting together some new dishes and some really wonderful things that people are going to enjoy. We've already got some great write-ups and stuff, particularly for our seafood tacos. Man, people are loving those. We do lobster, shrimp. A lot of people love chicken, so we got to do the chicken. Even though it was a seafood spot, we got to do the chicken. So we're doing the chicken tacos and so forth, man. But like the style of tacos that we're doing, they're called burrito tacos, and so people love that. You know what I mean? And we got some like good write ups as being like one of the best taco places in the county. So
Wow, man.
that's pretty good. We're not a taco spot, but you know, this is what the people love. You know what I'm saying? And so
Word.
it works. It works well as a lunch, as a lunch thing, and then a dinner thing. So it works good, man. But we serve salmon. We got lobster. We got uh, cra- uh, crabs. We're doing shrimp. We're doing what else? Salmon burgers. What else we doing? We even got low country fried green tomatoes. Fried green tomatoes,
You
yo.
heard that, Cato? They got They got low country fried green tomatoes all the way up there in New Jersey, Cato.
That's right.
my family Geechee. So my mother used to fry up some green potatoes like a mug and wouldn't really share them with us.
Yeah.
She bought
And the
those
great
joints
thing
for
is,
herself.
it gets real busy, man, at times because we're on Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub, and so man, at certain points, man, it gets real, it gets real critical.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good problem to have. So,
yeah, the industrious acts of the freedmen. You already know.
Word. Powerful, man.
Josh, what's going on, man?
Man. Peace, everybody. I just got to say, when you look at the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen, we have a powerful story, man. We have a powerful story. I'm seeing, when I'm looking around on Facebook, I'm seeing a lot of people that want to make, especially high profile celebrities and stuff, that they get to come and think they can disparage the freedmen. They think they can disparage and say anything and everything to like, I was looking at like Beanie Man and Nicki Minaj, and you think you can disparage crazy Beanie Man from Jamaica, Nicki Minaj from Trinidad, but for some reason disparaging Sha'Carri, right? Who from everything that we know is a freedman, but Nicki Minaj Trinidadian. Like, where's Trinidad at? Like, why y'all disparaging freedmen? And that's just one little anecdotal, but we see this all over the place. And it's a story. I was doing some reading in a book. It's an obscure book, and it's pretty much covering the history of a few Kenyans and Maasai Kenyans that really shaped the pushback against the colonial British when they were trying to move them from their lands. And I talked about it on an earlier program. We have one relative on my wife's side that actually traveled. He was the first Kenyan to travel to America to go to school, and he did it on his own dime. This was in 1909 to 1912. And when I was reading this book, it was talking about how, it was, the British missionary actually were the ones who encouraged him to come over here. And so he came over here, and coming all the way from Kenya, he went all the way to little old Boydton, Virginia, which is way, way, I don't know if anybody from Virginia, it's way in Southern Virginia. It's like Mecklenburg County. It's down there off of Route 58. It's not too far from South Hill. Anyways, so in the book it detailed how he was pretty much extremely moved by his experience, and he was disturbed because of how we were being treated, or the freedmen were being treated over here in America. He went to a Bible college. It was an all freedmen school, And originally, that school was being used by the Freedmen's Bureau, but he tried to. The end part of his story in America was he was he was trying to take a wife home that was a former classmate at that school. At that school was a sister. He was trying to take a wife home, but the British said no. We're not gonna allow that the black Americans to come to this to the we're not gonna allow those freedmen to come over here into our colonies because they're gonna cause too much upheaval. And that pretty much let him know that. And I would love to read an excerpt from the book. I had it. I was downstairs, and I'm gonna pass it back around when we come back. I just want to read a little small excerpt from the book because it really is going to chronicle and give an example on how we pretty much inspired, encouraged, and educated a lot of other freedom fighters across the so-called diaspora to actually fight. We the number one freedom fighters in the world, and
Number one.
you can't ever let nobody make you feel embarrassed or lesser than with that. You don't get to come to America and then talk to us any kind of way. Have some damn respect.
Facts. Freedmen. Freedmen first. Freedmen versus everybody. Those t-shirts are coming soon. Them t-shirts are coming soon. Freedmen versus everybody. Shout out to our other BTP mod in the building, brother Corey. Shout out to Sister Brianna in the building. And everybody else that has joined, man. Shout out to my dude, my dude from Hamels Moan. He just shared the video in the Hamels group, man. I got shout out to my hood Hamels projects, Far Rockaway, Queens. You know, I gotta always show love to my peoples, man. I love it when my real diehard street cats are watching the platform. Dudes that I know personally that's in them streets. So shout out to my peoples, man. I don't know yet, Trey Lincoln. they coming soon though. I don't know what I'm selling the t-shirts for, but Freedmen versus everybody. And I want to make a point before anybody goes in, because I seen somebody put Oxtail Twitter. I know Tariq Nasheed had put that post out, and that had me cracking up in response to Nicki
Dude, oh
Minaj and
man,
yeah, Oxtail Twitter. But my mother was making oxtails from as long as I can remember. And I don't know if she got that from Caribbeans in New York City. I don't know. But my mother was making oxtails for as long as I could remember. So I don't know if that's necessarily a Caribbean thing, right? I don't know. But I just know that my mother, there was an old meat market up the block. This was before, supermarkets just and Walmart and everybody took over Leroy's. And my mother used to get the oxtails fresh from Leroy. Dude used to cut the joint with the saw, you know what I mean? My mother used to send me and tell me how thick she want them cut so that the fat, she had a science to it. And it just made me wonder if, oxtails are a Freedman thing. Cato said oxtails and stew is a Gullah dish. So, yeah, man. Okay, so Cato says Gullah Geechee have been making oxtail stew for centuries. Sister Brianna said more like goat Twitter and roti Twitter. I could do that one, roti Twitter. We could do that. I don't know. I was to
that's
think about,
Indian though.
huh? Yeah, you're right. You are.
Well, a lot of those Caribbean dishes embraced
Mhm.
a lot of Indian cuisine.
So
Facts.
oxtails is one of the way my mother made oxtails. But I gotta be honest, I got for my Far Rock heads, everybody talked about my mother's oxtails. So then they opened up this Jamaican restaurant called Goodies. And then everybody came to me and was like, yo, nah, Goodies, oxtails is knocking Miss Homie's oxtails out the box. I was like, nobody can touch my mother's oxtail. I went to that Jamaican spot called Goodies in Far Rockaway, and I had to go back and tell my mother, I was like, they got you. She was like, go pick me up, son. I got her some. She was like, "Yeah, they good." So I gotta give Goody some props on that. There's the only oxtails that I tasted that was better than my mother's, and then my mother had to co-sign and be like, "Yeah, all right, they got me. They good. They good." So
Yep. And I'm glad you telling these stories, man, because basically, man, this whole thing, man, that we don't have a culture, man. We
mhm,
do.
that's
We
right.
have a culture. And I just wanted to mention too, there's a show, particularly about the cuisine. I think we mentioned it once before. Um, that we basically have a yep, yep. Basically, man, we do have a culture. Like, what's the name of that show called? I know my Muslim brothers and sisters, they not with it, and we respect that. That's a part of the Islam, part of the Freedmen culture too. But this show called High on the Hog, it's on Netflix for anybody that want to see it. And the brother, when the brothers was out, they was cooking like some okra stew, and they was like cooking outside, and it was this big brother, and he made an excellent point that we as a people, we the only people that have a cuisine named after something spiritual and
Mm,
transcendental called
mm.
soul food. You know, so we do have a culture. We Chi Town, we Detroit, we Motown, and just things, man. Even before we had large populations of our immigrant brothers and sisters with us in this country. So man, my whole thing is that I'm basically proud to be a descendant of freedmen, and in particular, I would like to let everybody know, like, the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen is not just a thing on YouTube. This is an actual organization that everybody that's watching, everybody that's go watch in the future, all the people in the chat, you can actually join the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen.
That's right.
And you know, with anything, this basically like the beginning of it. And you gonna have your documents, you gonna have your certifications of being a freedman. You gonna be able to have you frame your documents on the wall that you are a descendant of the freedmen. All that stuff is coming, man, and in the works. And I just hope I haven't jumped the gun. But BTP, or Be the Power, you know what I'm saying? It's the media and the political apparatus of this thing. But our confraternity, look that word up, confraternity. Our confraternity, you know what I'm saying, is the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. And if you are a descendant of freed men or free and freed women, you more than welcome to join in this society, of brothers and sisters, man. So, you know, I'm just personally glad because man, Naheem, all the brothers on this thing we come through a lot of different schools of knowledge and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm not trying to rehash no old stuff, but like, man, people, I get, my thing is different. I get the Afrocentric thing. I get the people with the Pan Africanist thing, because really a lot of that original Pan African ideology, you know what I'm saying, came out the minds of freedmen anyway, you
Yeah,
know, and so I'm not hating on them, and we don't be hating on them, but a lot of the arguments came out of a hostile environment from some hostile people. But we not against them. But what we telling people, man, is that you can't jump over Uncle Johnson, your ancestor. You follow what I'm saying? And Uncle Billy and Uncle Sarge, everybody got an Uncle Sarge in their family. Dude been wearing the same jacket since the Vietnam War. You know what I'm saying? Still wearing his military jacket, Uncle Saw. You know, you can't jump over him and start talking about Hatshepsut. You know, and I like what Brother Marlon said at the reparations rally, man. Like I think it was Brother Marlon, right, when he said something about the Egyptians. That was one of the
Uh-huh.
most powerful things, man, that
Hmm.
I've ever heard coming up out of this freedman understanding and this Black American like understanding. And he was like, people talk about we built the pyramids and we built Egypt and we was the ancient pharaohs and things of that nature, but nobody don't talk about the fact that those same new people in America that was taken from all of that stuff, shit, man, we created a whole new Egyptian empire in the West called
That's
the
right.
United States of America.
That's
You know,
right.
and nobody really deals with that. You know what I'm saying? So we the freedmen, we the new Egyptians,
That's right.
so to speak. So when Marlon said that, man, that held with me, man, and I constantly basically like think about that, man, and just like what Jesse Jackson said, I am, and this may sound cliche and corny, but now as you get older, you start to understand where them old elders was coming from. When Brother Man was saying, I am somebody, you know what I'm saying? And man, I study a lot of personally a lot of esoteric information. Um, a lot of our ancient history I do study. That's how I got here, you know. But the bottom line, man, is that we the masters on the scene now, and everything that we dealing with right now, man, all of these things, everything, man, is to really keep the minds of the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen suppressed right now.
That's
Like
right.
the whole thing, right? And I don't want to get on this, because it's a hot topic button, man. But like that, the brother Ken Billions was talking about all of this stuff that these rappers was doing, man. And
Hmm.
if you of a certain age group, what I appreciate about what Ken Billions was saying is that if you are of a certain age group, and most of us are on this line, you could see how the culture or the modern culture of the people in America, among our people in America, has basically like eroded. And nobody don't want to talk about this thing, but we got to talk about the moral element of this thing, man, because the original freedmen that came up out of slavery and basically formed the freedmen societies and stuff like that, man. Those people had there was always something going on, but those people had a real good moral code, man. And it's just like the moral code and the ethical code from that day and time to this day and time has basically like eroded in Hollywood, the media, all of that stuff like relish in our ingenuity, man, to create destructive ideas and destructive lyrics, destructive songs, destructive imagery, and they making billions on that stuff, man. So at some point, man, we got to begin to call that stuff out and roll some of these things back. Look, I'm not perfect, by the least stretch of the imagination, but at the same time, man, bro, it's just like I think the brother man has said, hey, we got to deal with this stuff every time. And I'm not beating up on the sisters because brothers do some jacked up stuff too. And everything. Oh, now it's hot girl summer. So now you go to a restaurant, you see 5, 6 sisters together, and they got hey, and everybody on the damn table popping and all of that kind of stuff. I think Nasheed had posted that. We got to deal with those things because we these people's amusement. We they muses, their muse, and they just want to keep us propagating just stuff that really don't want me. But anyway, man, I don't want to ramble on, but I'm glad we talking about this topic today. This to me, like this, a continuation of the Freedmen philosophy, man.
That's
And
right.
a lot of these things we gotta deal with and stuff like that. Just like, and I don't want to get on the Lil Nas X thing, but like the brother was making a point, like we can't just be mad at Lil Nas X and pointing at Lil Nas X, because really, man, before Nas X was probably a child, or before he was even born, that we was already creating. We was already creating, some of our artists, I should say, was already creating an illicit culture. You know what I'm saying? Before that dude was even born. So if anybody bears like the responsibility for that stuff, it's a lot of that. What's that sister name who was talking about this years ago, y'all, that we was talking about the other day? That he mentioned?
Dolores, I think Dolores Tucker is her name.
Yeah, Dolores Tucker. People was cursing that lady out. Shut up,
I remember.
you know, and she was trying to check us about basically the growth of the moral depravity of the modern day freedmen. You know what I'm saying? And now everything that she was basically saying like come to pass. And I don't want to diss on my brother Snoop Dogg, but like I was telling the brothers the other day, Snoop Dogg had a little song that come out, and everybody was commenting on it, and everybody was like, yo, dude, you 50 something years old, 60 something years old, talk about saying with your booty, like, come on, bro, ain't you about 60 now?
Yeah,
You
man,
ain't
it's time to
raising your
retire
kids.
that stuff, yo.
Yeah, man. She may even Master P retired a lot of that stuff that he was saying back in the day. Like, come on, bro, you gotta be pushing 60.
But
you
that's
know?
why what we're doing is so important, Grim,
Right.
because we we can look at that stuff now, and we're not gonna say, like that brother said in the video, that our hands are not dirty, right? And one of the lessons we learned from our previous schools is that you don't try to clean what's inside the dirty glass, because it's already dirty. It's just too much process. You have to filter and do all of the stuff that's needed to clean the water inside that dirty glass. Instead, you just simply offer a glass of clean water, and you sit it next to the dirty glass, and you let the people make their choice. And that's what we're going to do with this Freedmen movement. It's going to
Right.
have two elements to it. It's going to have two elements to it. One is, just what we're doing as a 501c3 organization, insofar as trying to create a lineage database, doing standard nonprofit things in the community for the underserved, things of that nature. But the other side of it is we want to have a fraternity of freedmen. We want to go to the college campuses, and we want to push our freedmen ideology. We want people to know that the freedmen are taking control over not just its culture, but its destiny moving forward. And we believe that this program is going to be highly, highly successful. So, and we just wanted to get on here and talk about some of that tonight, man.
Yeah. And let me say something. This is gonna be my last things. Like, to the immigrant brothers and sisters, man, from the Caribbean islands, and the things of that nature, man, because I want to put it out. We not a part of that other hate group that be putting out the hate and stuff. We don't hate y'all. We don't dislike y'all or for any other reason, or to come over here. We not being xenophobes, man. But when brothers point things out and sisters point things out, we would like for you all to do a self-examination, because that's what we got to do. That's what I just finished doing, a self-examination on the modern day freedmen and what's wrong with. But you all have to look at what you're doing as well, and you have to look at what Josh say, and you have to say, is Josh making a point? Do my parents feel that way? When I came over from Nigeria, did my parents tell me not to mess with African Americans? And I have to ask myself, wait a minute. Well, if African Americans made a way, you follow what I'm saying? For me to be over here, is that true or is that false? You have to look at the sacrifices that they. So for the immigrant brothers and sisters, this is an appeal to you all, that we don't hate you all, we don't dislike you all, but we want to deal with this thing in a spirit of truth. Now, I'm not no hip hop head, and I'm not no hip hop historian, but you can't come over here and live amongst us and live the African American experience, not the Jamaican experience, not the Trinidadian experience. You understand? Not the Haitian experience. You come here and you have melded and taken part in African American culture, and then turn around and say, well, Caribbeans invented hip hop. Well, you have to be analytical to yourselves and true to yourselves. And you have to say, well, if that's the case, we have to realize that when we came here, we was living in the African American experience when hip hop was created, and the fact that if y'all created hip hop, where is its antecedents in the Caribbean? So I mean, it's just things like that, man. And I think that a lot of these arguments, man, have to be reworked. And our brothers and sisters from Africa and the Caribbean have to understand that, you benefited and you over here living in Africa. Like your girl, I didn't even know she was from Trinidad till she started making them comments. But yes, what's her name? Nicki Minaj.
Mm-hmm.
But
Nah,
Nicki
hold
Minaj,
on. Grim. No, this ain't the hip hop episode yet.
Nah,
No.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
talking to somebody in the chat. I'm talking to our bro in the chat, our brother
Oh
Prime.
yeah, but I'm gonna make this point. I'm gonna get off of it. But you can't come over here and live and take on a persona of an African American or a descendant of freedmen, urban woman, and still have allegiance to wherever you come from to take shots at us. That's all I'm gonna say about the hip hop thing.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
That's
man,
right.
I'm with y'all, bro. I appreciate everything you've done with the Freedmen, man, and the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. And man, our doors and our ranks is open to all. So people who descend from that institution. So don't think that this is just something we saying. And I'm telling y'all, I'm asking everybody who's listening, use the hashtag Freedmen, use the hashtag, United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. Put this thing on, because it don't belong to us. It belongs to all of y'all, man.
And F1. Hashtag
That's
That's
right.
F1.
one.
That's right. You good?
Yeah.
Go in, Josh.
Yeah, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, I want to, take a couple excerpts, and I wanted to build on my point that I was making about.
All right, wait. Before you do that, I just want to let me mention something that our brother Logic put in our chat, because this is something else that we're pushing for as well. The Freedmen Orphanage and the Freedmen child care program, and we also want to have Freedmen education and relocate. Like everything is going to be Freedmen, and these are some of the things that we have expressed ideas about. And so far, a lot of the things that we've expressed ideas about are slowly but surely coming to fruition. Slowly but surely. So if any of you have any experience in any of these fields, let's go. Let's build. This is where we are family, right? We fight when it's time to fight. We not out there picking fights with nobody. Yeah, I see we bring people on this platform for debates who are adverse to reparations. And it don't matter what you call yourself, right? If you're adverse to reparations, we're going to school you. We're going to school you. So, we want to make sure that our family knows that we're real. We're not about slander. We're not going on Clubhouse talking about people like school children. Like, we're just not doing that. We are about making moves and doing real work. And let me clarify before you go on, Josh, that the relocation centers are that we want to create is to aid and assist those who want to return back home to the southern states. And we're going to do a good, powerful break. I think we need to revisit the topic again. The brothers and I have been speaking about it the past couple of days. Y'all already know the devil you know, right? We've been speaking about the strategy the past couple of days. I actually spoke about it on the live stream. And yeah, let's go, fam. Let's go. Yeah, go in, Josh.
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to go ahead, Ali.
Nah, I was just I was just testing the mic, man. Go ahead.
Oh, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Yeah. No, I wanted to continue to talk about the point about, you know, us being the #1 freedom fighters in the world. I mean, you got to understand and think about the scale of America today and America, at that time. We built through, our efforts in chattel slavery, and even after, right? The most powerful nation, the most wealthy nation, the most, innovative, and industrial nation the world has ever seen. And today we're not reaping the benefits of it, but we also, produced some of the most powerful legislation, or we helped inspire and fought to get past the most powerful legislation, in terms of civil rights and human rights that the world has ever seen. And we also inspired other people to go and fight to get out of under the yoke of colonization and slavery in other places. And so I just wanted to use a couple of examples of that, of Africans who came and studied. They were trying to be made to be tools of Christianity, and through the Christian missionary program to be like ways for them to be co-opted and used as a tool to placate those people so they can be exploited in their lands. But what happened was, America, like, they couldn't come over to America and access a white racist, propagandized type of school. They came to America and they was amongst the freedmen, and then they went back to Africa and they were on fire. Let me give one example. Was a guy by the name of Molenket Ole Sempele. He was from the Maasai tribe in Kenya, and I was just talking about it. So I'm reading from a book. It's called Kenya Historical Biographies, and this book was written a minute ago. It was written published by Department of History, University of Nairobi, and what year was this? 1971. And so I'm gonna read. So I just to give you a little background on this guy. He was a chief. He was one of the most respected people in his tribe in Kenya. And at the time, the British were under, they were really doing them dirty, man. They had relocated them. They pretty much pushed them off of their lands, and they were not letting them practice their culture, which was a nomadic, cattle-based culture. So this guy to go to school, he sold his cattle, and it was said about him selling his cattle that he would imagine that would be the same thing as a white man selling his children. And but that's not even like the most devastating part about it, that he would diminish his name in his community, and he would lose his wealth and all this kind of stuff. But even more so, he was afraid his mother might commit suicide. Like, his mother might injure herself because her son had done such a thing. So anyway, he went and did that. He went to this Freedmen Bible college in rural Virginia, right? And so here, when he gets there, I'm gonna read a little piece. It says, educationally, at least, it does not seem to have been able in 2.5 years, Sempele was there dramatically to increase his fluency in English and other studies, although there is much evidence that he applied himself with vigor to his work. This may have been partly due to the institutional poverty of the school, which was shared by many other struggling black schools in the South. Clearly, his educational competence was altered in no very lasting way by his sojourn to Virginia. His education in the States, however, his education in the States was not, however, of this academic kind. Rather, it was a revolution in political awareness that could affect equally African students, whether they were in Boydton, Lynchburg, or the very richest black colleges in the South. Not even a Bible Institute could insulate a student from the arbitrary victimization and general oppression of black people in the Southern states. Lynchings, for example, had fallen from their peak in the 1890s, but it must be remembered that there were still over 200 blacks lynched in America during the short time Sempele was receiving his education. Indeed, the peculiar violence of the Springfield riot just before the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth had sparked an establishment of the NAACP that the year that Sempele had arrived. And during his stay in it, the Atlanta riot was serious enough to drive its first secretary, Dubois, from his post in Atlanta University. It is no presumption that Sempele was affected by these spectacles of violence against black people. For almost 40 years after his return to Maasai country in 1912, he would at frequent intervals warn his closest associates about what white people were capable of doing to blacks. He was, in fact, as late of 1951, just a few years prior to his death, still discussing the atrocities of the Klansmen and other racist phenomena with one of his confidants. So, it's like, their experience in America really opened them up to, what the European was doing in his land, and it empowered him with the knowledge and ability to fight. And in this book, it also mentioned a guy by the name of, and the reason why I said whether it was Boydton or whether it was Lynchburg was because of a guy named, and y'all look up this dude. This is good to understand his history, because it's not just studying African history, it's studying the role of the freedmen influencing African freedom fighters. Once they came in contact with that freedmen, they got that freedman spirit. They got exposed to what the freedmen were doing, and they was in contact with the world's greatest freedom fighters, and they started producing some uprisings. They started kicking some behind, right? And so this dude John Chilembwe, this was back in the late 1800s, early 1900s in what they call Nyasaland, which today is Malawi. So basically, this dude, he tried to be basically indoctrinated by the British missionaries. So they sent him to Lynchburg. It was a black Lynchburg Bible college or something in Lynchburg. He went there for a little while. He saw all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, think about it, this place called Lynchburg, Virginia. You know what I mean? And he studied African American history there. And he was studying, John Brown. He was studying Frederick Douglass and all this kind of stuff, right? So he goes back home, and pretty much he starts fighting the Europeans over there, but who were stealing all of the land, who were enslaving the folks, who were, it was just doing all kind of terrible stuff. And he's the one really that he started preaching, breaking away from the white European churches and doing your own thing. And that was one of the earliest movements of that. It says Chilembwe's activities have been more closely related to the Ethiopian movement of African churches breaking away, often with Black American backing. See, peep that too. Chilembwe's activities have been more closely related with the Ethiopian movement of African churches breaking away, often with Black American backing from the more orthodox but European-controlled Presbyterian, Baptist, Methodist, or the other denominations, than being under the influence of groups such as the Seventh-day Adventists, right? So it's just going to show you. And then he even had like a uprising in 1915 where, they went on ahead and started killing folks, started getting it in. They had a protest and then went turn to a revolt and all that kind of stuff. So, I didn't want to make this too prolonged. Another part to the Sempele story, right? When he left America, he tried to take one of them freedmen, women. One is, I guess it was somebody, it was a classmate. And when where is that piece here? Yeah, when he tried, says, all right, I'm gonna just read this real quick because this is talking about when he tried to take the freedman woman home. Oh well, all right, let me read this. It said there were also some personally bitter racial experiences that he met with in Virginia, and which he would carry with him as an ammunition in years later. They will come out in Africa at the oddest times, but would generally be employed to level down a white missionary who Sempele judged to be discounting the African's point of view. And it says an equally sensitive spot concerned a Black American girl he had wanted to marry. And basically it says a Kikuyu girl had pretty much broken up with him. And it says it seemed that his attachment to the American girl must date from after the breakup. It was a subject he talked to few people later, but when he did, there was always intensity of feeling. Clearly, Sempele and the girl had been deeply in love, and she had determined to come back with him to Africa. It is certain that she managed to come part of the way with him, but was turned back at one of the ports en route. Again, the factors involved are difficult to unravel. It is quite possible that the mission would have intervened to prevent an educated Southern girl from taking up residence in a Maasai reserve. It is equally likely that the government of the British East Africa Protectorate was prepared to view the advent of a Black American with the same distaste as the South African government had recently shown for Black American missionaries, especially if she was bound for that most protected people, the Maasai. Yes, as whatever the details of the embargo, it does not appear that the episode provided a clue to this rather unsatisfactory relations with the almost unlettered girl he would eventually marry. So basically, you can see that the whole world, the Africans, when they came in contact with the greatest freedom fighters in the world, the freedmen, they decided they knew how they could turn up. They turn up. We got some about that freedman experience, that freedman, woman, some about that freedman history. It teach you how to turn up, and you can also tell that the colonial British knew that the freedman was the greatest freedom fighter in the world because they wouldn't even let him take a freedman woman home. So that's all I got to say about that.
That's
Brother,
powerful, man.
word. Brother Ali, you wanted to share anything, bro?
Shout out to Dr. Darity.
Word.
Shout out to Dr. Darity. See, big ups. He just got a wonderful grant from Duke.
That's right.
to do some what is it, reparations research.
That's right.
That's big. That's big, man. It just goes to show you, man, as we continue to work, it's really nothing that's going to get in our way, man. We just, as long as we are in the right spirit, man, I believe that things are going to work out for the best for all of us,
That's
And
right.
so I just look at that as an example of that. That man has put in many years of work into the reparations argument, the reparations claim for our people, trying to formulate uh, um, an idea of how to approach it. And he's done an excellent job, an amazing job in doing so. Even though you got detractors, from different areas, the man was still able to get things done. And I appreciate that. I respect that. And I respect his knowledge and his wisdom and Sister Kirsten Mullen, the work they've done together. It's just outstanding. Also, I just want to say, it's kind of like bigging up a little bit today. The African American Intellectual History Society, in conjunction with Yale University, they put together what they call a roundtable, an online roundtable, where they will be publishing a series of essays, which will include an essay that I did co-authored along with Dr. Darity on the contested citizenship of Black Americans in this country. And so from August 2nd, starting today, to August 10th, they will be publishing each day a different essay from different historians about the contested citizenship of Black Americans. So I urge everybody to go onto the Black Perspectives website, which is the website ran by the AAIHS, and just check out all the essays that they're going to be publishing. And I think everybody's going to enjoy it.
That's right.
Also, what we plan to do, once they publish the one that Dr. Darity and I did, we'll also publish it on the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen website. So that same information will be there. And what I was talking with Dr. Darity about too is expounding on the essay that we did, because it's actually a shortened, condensed version. What they have or what they're going to be publishing is actually a condensed version of what we actually wrote. So I think we're going to add to it. I want to do that. I think Dr. Darity wants to do that. I want to add to it and really bring that thing out, man, and pack a lot of information into that essay, so people can have a really, really powerful essay or article to reference when it comes down to dealing with the issue of our citizenship in this country. So I just wanted to say that.
Indeed. And do you know people that's doing the work, do work, and the world will know them by their works, point blank, period. All the rest of that stuff is, it's nonsense. Nonsense. This is what it is.
Yeah.
So you on. Go ahead, Josh.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Who you going to shout out? I don't want you to forget it.
No, I just want to say shout out to all the freedmen. Shout out all the freedmen, and in the whole United States, and whether you are part of, I don't care what your background is, because like a lot of times, man, we get caught up in ideology, school of thought, who taught us what first, and we have an affinity towards that, or we have some type of family story, or you want to have, part of our culture is we're looking for, we've been stripped of a lot of continuity in our background. So, and we've been told that we have not been told that we are our own tribe. So there's been this long, search for identity, and there's been shame that's been put on being from our tribe. So we're always looking to do something else, whether we're going to admit it or not. So that's why people are always looking to invent or come up with some new ideology or some new group or organization that makes you something other, right? That makes you something other and something special. When if you just really embrace being a freeman, embrace our history, and that we're, like I said, the greatest freedom fighters in the world has ever seen. We have the most illustrious history. We produced the most in this nation. That is something you better be proud of. You don't have to be nothing more than that.
We are the true Americans.
Yeah, we the true Americans. And I don't care. Look, some people, you think, you coming from, whether you coming from the church, and you just, you thinking that, I hear people say, well, you just regular black. No, it ain't no such thing as no regular black if you're free.
That's right.
You are extra, you're a super regular, or you extra, you're premium. No, you look at the gas tank, we ain't no regular.
That's right.
We premium, ultra, and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Premium, ultra.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because we are really the only, if you let's be real, we are the only black. Let's be honest. Because when you're talking about black, we are really the only, you can say we are the original black. Because when you're talking about black, you're talking about the term that was created essentially for the descendants of freedmen and those that was enslaved. Anybody else, you talk about the context in America. Anybody else guess what? They can name a nationality that come along with America. They can name a tribe. They can name a whatever subgroup. But us, we just black, so we're the original. So you can't,
That's
don't
right.
never let somebody say, oh, you just regular black. No, you look at that game. You
They
look at that
look at
game. We
other
had 87.
people. Look, they look at other people's women and call them exotic, right? Like,
Yeah,
nah, the exotic women are here, and that's why it's
exactly.
only freedmen. I'm only freedmen. But yo, shout out to this brother Lenny Lewis. When we did the live stream Whitey on the Moon, I asked somebody, can they put a little beat to that? You know, the djembe drums in the background, and the brother did that with Josh going in. I mean, he really did a good job on that piece, and we're gonna display that on a future live stream as well. So I want to give a shout out to this brother, man.
Shout out to that brother. Yo,
Definitely,
let me
definitely.
shout out. Let me do this. Shout out to the foundational Black American family.
That's
Right,
right. That's
one
right.
love. That is our family. Those are freedmen. We're
That's right.
foundational Black Americans. Those are freedmen and women as well. And shout out to Tariq Nasheed for trying to build that Hidden History Museum. That's an honorable thing that he's trying to do. So
That's right. That's
I
right.
know there's a lot of people who are against it, right? But I'm just not one who's against it. I am fine with it. And from
Indeed.
what the way he laid it out, it makes all the sense in the world to me. You know, I hope the brother is able to raise the money to get it done. You know, and I applaud him for his efforts. So
That's
ain't no
right.
haters over here. I just want that to be known. Ain't
Oh yeah,
nobody hating
definitely.
from over this side. You know,
Not on this side of the nation.
not on this
Right,
side of the nation.
Hey, I
right.
was trying to say
Because
the
freedmen are foundational Black Americans, and many foundational Black Americans are freedmen, and vice
That's right.
versa. You know what I'm saying? With the only exception is that, you know what I'm saying, you could be a freedman and not be a foundational Black American. You know, your ancestor might not have necessarily been here with
When
uh
the
with
founder.
Prince Hall and
Mm-hmm.
Christmas addicts
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature. But you still a freedman if you was
That's
came
right.
here, if your ancestors came here in the 1800s before 1865 or
Indeed.
1799 or what have you. You know, but man, I'm
That's
with
right.
you with that, man. Shout out to that brother. Shout out to all of the foundational Black Americans. You know, the we all friends and we all family, man. That's all I got to say.
That's right. Josh, what you was about to say, bro?
no, I was gonna say, and I don't, again, like, we're for the uniting of the, we're called the United Sons and Daughters of the Freedmen. We're not called the divided sons and daughters of the Freedmen. So like,
That's right. That's
if
right.
you see us going at somebody, it's to try to try to defend our people, our freedmen. Whether, and it's crazy because a lot of times we find ourselves defending our tribe against like a subgroup of the freedmen. Like when you have a subgroup that's fighting against the larger group, it's crazy because you don't recognize you're fighting us when we're fighting for you. You know,
That's right.
that don't make sense. So I gotta say, the now I'm only talking about those of the freedmen lineage now. So let me put that asterisk right there. The NOI, the Moors, the Hebrew
Hebrew
Israelites.
Israelites,
You know what I'm saying? The
the Kemetic
FBA.
brothers.
You know, and everybody else, Kemetic brothers, and all the other groups. These are also freedmen. You know.
That's right.
The
That's
ones that are freedmen are
all
freedmen.
hey,
Oh,
hey, all of these are freedmen.
that's
Hey
right.
yo, hey yo,
That's what I meant to say. Yeah,
I know, Josh.
yeah, yeah.
hey yo, people. We're for the uniting of the freedmen. Come on, man.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
We are for the uniting of the freedmen. That's a
Yeah.
fact. That's a fact. That's why we took the name the United Sons and Daughters of the Freedmen, man. We trying to get the sisters to do their stream as well, man. I can't wait for that. We're gonna keep doing our thing. We're never
No
gonna
doubt.
stop doing our thing. This, like I said, Be the Power as a YouTube channel is a means to the ends, which is greater political power. And we, we honor everybody that tunes in and supports us. We got a couple cash apps tonight. Shout out to everybody that sent in the cash app. Shout out to everybody that sent in the super chat tonight. Ain't no amount too small because it means that, it means that we showing support in any which way that we can. And I love it, man.
Man, shout out to Marlon and Ibrahim and Arthur Ward and Cynthia and Dawn and Roz and everybody, whoever I'm forgetting, Tara, who am I forgetting? Tamara Johnson, Sheely.
That's right. Especially our sister Tamara Johnson, Sheely, who's about to run, brother Cato.
Shout out, brother Cato.
Shout out to everybody. Our brother Logic gonna be back on.
Shout out, brother Logic.
He gonna be back on soon. He had to jump in a couple of nights ago a little prematurely because it was so much foolishness going on. And shout out to our brother Prime, Macaroni Mac, man.
Shout out to
AKA Michael Jordan. Don't just fight the battle, power, be the power. He said, I love that slogan.
A lot of people don't know Macaroni Mac is actually family to me. So like that's family right there. So shout out to Macaroni Mac, Prime.
Black Seed, the child of life. He's been supporting the channel for a long time as well. Shout out to everybody that supports the channel. ANPDM1. I still don't know what that means. I'm confused by it, but I gotta say all the letters. But you support the channel, I'm gonna say all the letters. It is.
Shout out to the assembly. Come on, shout out
to the assembly. That's right.
Yeah,
man.
They Freedmen. Assembly is Freedmen, man.
That's right. That's right.
Chad, come on.
Yeah,
Friday.
the assembly.
Friday.
All of these are free.
Brother Marcus Champion.
Marcus Champion. Shout out to Marcus Champion.
Chris Larson. I forgot to shout him out on the Chuck Rock interview, man.
Come on.
I forgot to shout him out on the
check
Chuck Rock interview.
If y'all didn't like and subscribe, go like and subscribe to Politics in Black. They be spitting that fire out there too.
Make sure y'all subscribe to Politics in Black. I was actually watching some of their last live stream where they had a bunch of Christian preachers on and pastors, and I loved it. I loved the energy of it, because it's the conversations that we need to be having with fellow reparationists, regardless of what the religion is. We could debate about ideology in the other room, but in this room, we all Freedmen reparationists, and that's what this thing is about. Oh, shout out to our BTP mods, though. We got to give a shout out to brother Corey Lorenz.
Corey, shout out Corey.
Definitely, man. Shout out Sister Riri.
Shout out
definitely.
The OG Otis. We can't forget the OG Otis.
Oh, the OG Otis, definitely.
Come on.
We trying to go, Otis, if you listening, that's another of the slots that we're trying to get going. We're trying to have, and peep the name, y'all, live from the bunker with Otis, or live from the bunker with OG Otis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We want to get that. We want to get the elder on to go in because he knows some stuff, man. And he can.
It's one more group, bro.
Oh,
my bad. Go ahead. No, finish what you were saying.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's one more group that that I meant to say before I said all of these are Freedmen. The Pretendians. Shout out to the Pretendians.
Shout out to the Pretendians.
All of these are Freedmen. Whether you want to fight us or not, y'all are Freedmen. We just seen an article. They came from CNN that Maxine Waters was to try to say, hey, we need to we're gonna cut off y'all bread that we giving you unless you do right by your Freedmen.
That's right.
And it's interesting to see that Freedmen language used, but these are Freedmen too. Right. Whether they want to be a part of those tribes or not, all of these they still part of the Freedmen.
They're still Freedmen, even if you try to deny it.
Yeah, Cherokee Freedmen, man.
Make sure y'all subscribe to our brother Logic's channel, Politics with Logic Supreme, as well. So we want to get on here and just have a conversation.
Shout out to brother Corey Gums, man.
Yeah, shout out to our brother Corey Gums, definitely, man. Definitely. Honors, brother Lenny Lewis for the donation. And honors for everybody that contributed tonight. I think I said that already, but let me say it again, man. So,
Yeah.
it's just love. It's
And
just
I just want to say something, man, too, bro. Like I said, I know we don't get into religions and stuff because we don't want to insult anybody's sensitivities, man. But here's my thing: if you a freedman, go join a freedman church, man. Go join the African Methodist Episcopal Church. If you a Muslim brother, you know what I'm saying. Go visit a freedman masjid, because some of the slaves and stuff that came over here, we have recognized that some of them brothers was Muslims. Go to an African American masjid, man. If you are the Hebrews, a black Jew, go to a black Hebrew congregation that's basically, man, descendants of freedmen. Find where your place at spiritually, man, amongst the descendants of freedmen, man. And also too, bro, y'all know I'ma say it, man. As freedmen too, honor your ancestors, man.
That's
You
right.
know, honor your ancestors. And I
that's
don't
right.
just mean say honor to the man, speak to your people spiritually, man. When you say a prayer, man, talk to your people from the other side of this dimension, because we were a spiritual people. You follow what I'm saying? And we come from a culture and a land and stuff where ancestral worship was. Yes, I did. I said it. Ancestral worship was a thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's
We had
right.
our
That's
own
right.
science. They spooked out our science. Let me tell y'all how powerful the freedmen descendants are, man. Like our Africanisms, if you will, or our spirituality that came over there, man. We were so powerful that we were able to take their symbols, right? And related to our African symbols, and preserve our spirituality, and it became something new and powerful amongst, you know what I'm saying, the descendants of freedmen. If you want to know things about, look up Marie Laveau, if y'all never heard of her. Marie Laveau, what they call the voodoo queen or whatever, and you know our spirituality, they called it hoodoo and stuff. But like when you start to go research and understand those things, a lot of our European American citizens and stuff like that, they frequented, healers and conjure men and conjure women and stuff like that for the solutions to their medical problems, to their fortunes, and all of that stuff, man. So I just want to make an emphasis, man. You ain't gotta be on my level or whatever with that, man. But if you, man, find where you fit in spiritually, because we gonna need the power of the ancestors, man, from beyond or whatever, to get this thing done, whether it's the right against these evil officers, police officers, the political system, getting reparations, man. You gonna have to touch, you know what I'm saying, something, you gonna have to touch something divine in order to fight this war. And a lot of people, like that was one of my main observations with the folks, the other folks. I ain't saying too much, but their whole thing was secular. And if we just say, oh, the data, the data, the data, see, we not. That's how you know somebody is not grounded in something. We can talk about the data, but it's other spiritual implications, man, for us as the descendants of freedmen or African Americans, that we got to touch on to fight this war. And it's not like it hadn't been done before. We use spirit. You follow what I'm saying?
That's right.
In the civil rights movement, man, if people wasn't grounded in their spirituality, man, we would be lost, man. So we do talk about the data. We do talk about the politics. We do talk about the reparations. But all of these brothers, man, that I'm with, you know, we have our spiritual foundation, man, in honoring the path, the traditions of our ancestors and the people that's gone before them before, because they have a wisdom and a power, man, that we need to fight these wars, man. And I'm gonna say this last thing about ancestor tradition, ancestor ancestor worship, and things of that nature. Like all these Confederate monuments and shit, that's ancestor worship.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
but they'll tell you that grandma putting some candles next to her grandma picture, you know what I'm saying, with some Florida water and a couple of Bible verses and stuff like that. You
That's
know,
the
they
devil.
say that that's hoodoo, that's
That's
evil,
right.
that's bad. Or the people who practicing some of the other spiritualities from overseas that may have, they tell you that, in the same time they building monuments to their God. See,
That's right. Idol
that
worshipers.
P.T. Beauregard, their God, is one of their gods. Robert
Robert
E.
E.
Lee,
Lee,
huh?
Jefferson Davis.
Jefferson Davis. See, that's they ancestral deities. You follow what I'm saying? And so even in the Roman Catholic Church, you know, people who came way, they canonized saints who was born 2,000 years after Christ. People who was nowhere with the original apostles of Christ get canonized as saints and stuff as they passed on for miraculous feats and all of that type of stuff. And they have that, but when we do it with grandma and pawpaw and mama and the lights, you follow what I'm saying? And Kato know what I'm talking about with the gullers and all of that. So we become pagans. So as pagans when we do it, but when they do it, you know what I'm saying? It's
It's Christianity.
honorable. Christian, you know. So that's all I'm saying, man. So I just want to add to that, man. Honor your ancestors, freedmen, man, and watch how powerful this thing is.
That's
And
right.
use that Freedman language, man. Use that
That's
Freedman
right.
language. That thing needs to permeate because, again, when we use the Freedman language, when we use the word Freedman, when you refer to yourself and you get people to start, what is that Freedman? What is that? And they look it up and and see there's a historical continuity to that. It's a historical, relevance of that shows when they started using that term to talk about our tribe, and it shows that America had a chance, Reconstruction, but they allowed Reconstruction to be overthrown, and you can see what happened in those few years when those few years when we were like making a way out of no way. It was said that we made the progress of how many years in 1 year?
That's right.
Naheem?
100 years in 1 year.
Right.
In 1 year. And so when you use the term freedom, you see that, and then you see today. You fast forward to all of that whole century plus of oppression and terrorism against us, and you look at us today. That will tell the story. See that just by
Right.
using the term freedom.
That's right.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
and the crazy thing, I know you want to get off, Ab. How long we been on now?
An hour and 13 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Here's the crazy thing, right? Because we know we were talking about freedmen earlier, the terminology. The interesting thing about it is it encapsulates and it explains everything.
That's right.
Freed men and
That's
women
right.
explains
That's right.
everything. So it's not like you're missing out on talking on pinpointing that our people came out of slavery, right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
because this people still using other terminologies, which is fine. You can use whatever you want, right? But we're saying that this particular term it captures everything that you want to talk about.
That's right.
It's making reference to the institution of slavery, and then it makes reference to the fact that you came out of slavery, and it also is making reference to, and what Brother Grimm brought up earlier in our conversation, it makes, and Josh as well, it makes reference to that period right after slavery, that Reconstruction period that you were supposed to get repaired, right? So all of the pensions and the different things that was on the table, the land grants that were supposed to be given, they were going to be given to these people known as freedmen. So it's a constant reminder to the federal government that we know that our people during this time period, when they were being referred to as freedmen, were supposed to be repaired and taken care of, and you did not do that. You did not honor the things that you were supposed to do or honor in order to repair our ancestors, known as the freedmen, those people who were newly freed from the institutional Negro chattel slavery. So that term freedmen captures everything that you want to talk about. It captures slavery. It captures the fact that you came out of slavery. It captures the fact that there was a Reconstruction period where they was talking directly to freedmen about what you was supposed to get. They set up a Freedmen's Bank, a Freedmen's Bureau. There was a Freedmen Village right there in Arlington, where Arlington Cemetery is.
That's right.
You know, you name it. There were freedmen towns all over the United States. Freedmen. So that term captures everything. It's not something that you have to force. It's not a new term. It captures everything that you need to reference, right? And like I said, it's a reminder to the federal government. We know what happened. We know who we are. We know where we came from. And we know what was supposed to be done for those freedmen. And we're the descendants. We're the sons and daughters. It's time to get it done.
That's
right.
I
want to say one more thing, and then I'm going to hop off. Oh, yeah, I want to say, go ahead, Naheem, then I'm going to say it. I see.
No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just got the website up.
Oh, all right. So what we want to say about United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen, come all ye freedmen of America and hear the truth about your nationality and your legacy of the freedmen, because you are not just regular black. You're not just Negro. You are descendants of the most powerful freedom fighters, the most powerful people that built the most powerful nation in the world, and who, through terrible abuses and misuses, have been made the stepping stones of America. But it's time to reclaim to the place that we were supposed to be. It's time to push and fight to make sure we get the justice that our ancestors deserve. And you need to learn about your forefathers' actions, right? Because what we're doing is we're trying to uplift the fallen freedmen. You know what I'm saying? So come back and link with your brothers. That's right. The fallen sons and daughters of freedmen. So come link yourself with the family of freedmen. So I just want to say peace.
That's what I'm talking.
I see what you did, Josh.
I see what you did. Yo, you know. Thank you, Sister Riri. You know, we got some pictures up on the website. Thank you. You know, thank you. We got some more information coming up for that website. We're gonna have a membership application soon. We're also going to have the Freedmen University website will be up soon as well. The BTP website will be up any day now. We're just fine-tuning some things, you know, so we just want to make sure we got everything right. That 12, yeah, that's right. That 12-point program that we got, man, you got something to run around with. You know what I'm saying? We Freedmen got something we can shout about.
That's right.
We got something we can shout about.
That's going to be powerful, man.
Oh yeah, Ali just gave us an excellent breakdown about how Freedmen encapsulates everything that we want to talk about, whether we want to talk about foundational Black Americans to the extent that those people were former slaves.
That's right.
To the fact that, you know, during the formation of this country, many of our people were still enslaved. And that's where we really officially get the term freed men with the D. You know, it's a difference between freemen and freedmen. And officially, we get freedmen during the years of 1865 and 1866 on official documentation. I mean, it just makes sense. And you can't defeat the logic, because you can't defeat the historical records, no matter what anybody says. You can't. So let me just real quick Our brother Prom asks, when will the HR 40 bill go to the House Rep and Senate? Is there a specific date? Well, it was supposed to go on June, was it Juneteenth?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yep, it was. Sheila Jackson Lee was supposed to call it on Juneteenth, and we've heard nothing since. Nothing. And brother Ali Dawood El, I want to address something that he said earlier. He was speaking about etiquette, and we speak about that. We speak about having like etiquette training. Again, we don't have that anymore. Being learned in mannerisms and etiquette and just overall class. And Freedmen, we want to bring that back. We want to start, I'm not saying we got to walk around in suits all the time. I like to throw my kicks on and my hat and my sweatpants on every once in a blue.
I'll tell you this though, bro. Our culture and customs need to be pulled out, extracted from Black culture. And let me say what I'm saying. Yes, we're part of the Black race, right? We're part of the Black race, right? But our culture as people coming up out of slavery, coming through from that institution into the freedman status and so forth, we have very distinct things that we did in certain ways that we carried ourselves, certain value system. We have to extract that. We're going to have to really go back and start extracting that stuff out of the Black culture, because the Black culture is an amalgamation now of a multitude of different things coming from different places. And when I see a lot of the degradation, it makes me think about that. It makes me think about that, when people ask the question, how do we get from, and they'll throw pictures up of, say, Martin Luther King's wife, or Malcolm X's wife, or, some of the women as they would stroll up and down 7th Avenue, in New York on Sunday, right? They would wear their Sunday best, as they call it, right? So 7th Avenue was the place to be at a certain point in Harlem history. And so people would come on 7th Avenue just to walk up and down 7th Avenue and show off their fashions, show off how dignified they were as a people. You can Google this stuff and look at how people used to carry themselves. But see, that's a part of our particular culture, and these are customs that we are cultivated here, right? Now you have people jumping up on tables in restaurants. You have people twerking in front of 80-year-old women at the BET Awards and all of this kind of stuff. You understand all of these kinds of things that are going on. And so what I'm saying is, the reason that you can go from a Coretta Scott King to a Nicki Minaj is because Nicki Minaj comes from a different culture with a different set of customs and a whole different value system than Coretta Scott King. So we're going to have to extract our culture out of Black culture and start to really define and set our culture aside from Black culture, because Black culture is amalgamated with so much shit now. It's not good. It's not good. And at the end of the day, what's going to happen is everything negative about Black culture is going to always be reflected on us. It's always us that gets the bad rap.
That's right. And let me point out one more thing before we get up out of here. Because my brother Ali just made me think about some things, right? I want you to pull up the images that brother Ali spoke about. Right? Pull those images up. See how we looked in Harlem back in the 1930s. Pull up videos of Father Divine. You talk about the 1930s, 1940s. Look at how our women dress. I want you to look at our parades back in those days. Then I want you to pull up images of the West Indian Day Parade, Juve, Carnival in Brazil, and see how the women are dressed. And you'll see the importation of that
That's right.
nakedness, if you will, walking through the streets. Like a lot of stuff that we have latched on to has been imported here. Period. Period. And we got to
Right.
be honest about that, man. And we got to show the world that we have risen and resurrected again by reversing that. As I say, y'all could have that culture. That's y'all's thing. This is our thing. This is how we are going to show up to our parades like our ancestors did. So,
That's right.
you know, we definitely got to make sure that we
That's the
are.
only way we're going to be able to preserve the freedmen,
That's right.
the value system that our great grandmothers and grandfathers and stuff raised our grandparents on, who raised our parents on and raised us on. The only way we're going to be able to preserve that stuff is to take it out of and away from the larger black culture, because it's too much going on. You got Little Nas X, you got all of these things that's going on that's been imported and injected into so-called Black American culture. It's too much. So we're gonna have to make distinctions, man. Not just with lineage and identity, with our culture and customs as well. We have to start setting all our shit aside and apart from everybody else's.
We are a tribe. We are unique. We have we have the spirit of several different people flowing through our veins. We are unlike any other people in the world, and they know it. Everybody knows it. But the dominant society here, white folk, aka white folk, they know it. They know it more than anybody, that these people are special, that they dominate in the Olympics at damn near everything. Boxing, we're the best boxers in the world are freedmen, hands down, hands down. There's no better boxers in the world than the freedmen. None. We've had some greats that come from different places. We give them their props and their honors, but I could run off a whole list of them, going all the way back to Jack Johnson, Sugar Ray Robinson. Man, please don't get me started. don't get me started. Do not get me started. We the best basketball players. The basketball players, the best in the world. And when our best goes up against the best anywhere else, we blow them out by 40, 50, and 60 points. When our mediocre, when they put together mediocre teams that ain't really don't got the same hunger as the teams back in the days, then some other countries are more liable to beat them. But nah, you put our best against your best of all times, and we're gonna win.
And I say, even if you put our mediocre against their best, we still gonna win as long as they have some time to play together, and get some continuity. You know what I mean? Like it's a difference when you taking a bunch of dudes, you just throwing them together. They don't know how to play with each other. They haven't figured it out. Compared to like these other guys, you throw them together. They've been playing their whole lives together. Like our we talk about Team USA basketball. That's like, a sideshow for us. That's like their main thing. Their main
Word.
thing they trying to do is defeat America. We like, man, we ain't got time for that. We trying to
That's
rehab and
right.
get this money,
Hey, I wanted to say something too about the sports thing. Even with the brothers and sisters from the islands that's kicking backside right now, man, in a lot of Olympic sports and stuff, man. We gotta, man, congrats to them for what
Oh
they
yeah,
doing and stuff,
definitely.
the Jamaican.
Definitely.
But check this out. A lot of them sisters, man, and them brothers too, a lot of them people were trained by freedmen.
That's
A
right.
lot of those people are alumnus and stuff of American colleges, HBCU colleges, and all of that stuff too. That had track and field programs. They just go back and they just run for their countries, that they come from. But a lot of them people, man, was trained like right here, man, at some of the best track and field institutes and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to point that out.
Indeed, indeed. So look, family, it's time for us to get up off air. We just wanted to come on and chop it up real quick and talk to our, talk to our family, man. We do this out of love. And can't nobody question it. Nobody. Nobody. And we if I can, we see the we see the snakes and the scorpions.
Nah.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, we ain't paying them no mind. We got bigger fish to fry, right? We casting our nets and our rods in the oceans. We trying to catch great whites and whales and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a crypto
And if y'all peep,
reference.
yeah, oh yeah. If y'all peep, who are we trying to talk to? Who did we just talk about in the last program? We talked about enemies and that are real enemies and real ops. Those who are trying to work and make the language and the ideology of the neo-Confederates pervasive amongst our people. Those are the ops.
That's right.
Those are the ops. The people that are putting legislation in place to really do us damage, whether it be take our vote away, whether it be to block reparations, whether it be to teach or maintain the teaching of white supremacy in the school systems. Those are the ops. So those are the ops that if you're spending energy on people that have made a lifelong career out of fighting for reparations or justice for our people, those people are not the ops. You should be spending zero energy on attacking and making their life hell. Go and make the people who did all the stuff I just talked about, go and make their life hell. Go and bring them on platforms and embarrass them like this. Go and
That's right.
engage in conversation with them. Go to your school board and those coons that are out there. Damn, are we gonna get censored because I said coons? Anyway,
They don't like
go.
that word.
Yeah, they don't want them to demonetize it, whatever. But go and fight those sellout freedmen and sellout freedmen imposters, right? Go and fight them in the school board meeting. Go to your town halls and go and raise hell to your politicians that's trying to sell you down the river talking about some what is it 10, 20, 30 plan like brother Cato and
That's
Arthur
right.
brother. Yeah, go do that. Go put your energy there. If you're gonna get on Clubhouse or you're gonna get on Twitter and all that, go and spend your time attacking those people. Don't be why in the world would you we're not going there. So I just gotta say that's who we are bringing the fight to, and that's who you should do the same thing. And if you're not, you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's right. Look at them beautiful Freedmen sisters up in Harlem. We got to bring our culture back, man. We're going to get it right. But this is what we have been ordained to do. So let us get up off this piece, family. I'll leave y'all with the motto of the platform, which is don't just fight the power, become the power. And then and only then will you have the power to make a change. And with that, I say peace.